Yo yo to the yo, it is I, the Minyon from AllCast Irish Gamers. Welcome back, because you know it is the time of Minyon's recipes. Number 19 might I add, wow. And yes, I'm back again, one of my favourite builds of any deck, thank you Yassine, Cyber Dragon Traps. Brilliant deck. Now I mixed it up a bit, I'm not going to be doing this video the way I usually do, where I have the card footage in between all the clips. I'm just going to go straight through the cards and then show you the clips at the end. So we're going to start off 3 Cyber Dragons, 3 Cyber Dragon core being the main core of your deck. That's your main monster. You're going to want to normal summon that at every time you can. Cyber Dragon hurts because it's just a great way of getting a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard or your deck, as long as it's a monster even named Cyber Dragon. So it works with Nashster. Nashster is another great card for just special summoning onto the field, but it also special summons a Cyber Dragon of 2100 attack in your graveyard, so that's also very beneficial. You can also use to get Rampage back, Seeger, the whole lot. We've got 1 copy of Veer in there because it's good for chain blocking when you're summoning core, and it's just an extra body on the field. And of course we got Jizukiro. Gotta have 1 Kaiju in there, brilliant card as well. Very good for outing problem monsters. 3 Cyber Emergency to search basically any Cyber Dragon in your deck, it's great. And 1 copy of Repair Plant. Repair Plant's another good one, but you gotta have a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard to activate it, remember that. Rev System is another good extender, summons from your hand or the graveyard as well, so it's got 2 good effects. And Cyber Load Fusion, don't use it that often, but you are going to be removing a lot of Cyber Dragons from your graveyard with your trap cards and stuff, so it's good to have at least 1 and 2 copies of the bad boy Machine Dupe. Now usually people don't play Machine Dupe in trap Sidra builds, but I do, because it's just a great way of getting Infinity on the field. We've also got the 1 Overload Fusion, so you can go into your Rampage, start popping back row, send a few cards from your deck, send Hurts, add a card from your graveyard, so it flows so very well. Speaking of flowing, Cybernetic Overflow, gotta have 2 of these bad boys. DNA Surgery, I don't know why I put it in, but it works so well for contact fusing. Yeah, people might say it's a bit slow, but this is a more control based trap deck. You got Imperial Order in here as well, so you are going to slow your opponent down to the point where DNA Surgery does become viable. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, because why not? It's one of the most powerful trap cards in the game. Solemn Strike as well, very good for negating hand traps too. And of course we got 3 Torrential Tributes. Brilliant card, just ends your opponent's turn if you do it correctly. And of course we've got 3 copies of Fortress, 2 copies of Mega Fleet. Both of these cards are great for just outing problem monsters, contact fusing, getting them away. DNA Surgery will change them all to machine, so you can just get rid of their entire board, as long as they're face up of course. Rampage, got 2 of those in there, because he is just your OTK enabler, you gotta have 2 of them in there. We got Infinity, just what a card, just brilliant card. You want to make him as quickly as possible so you can shut down your opponent's Nibiru's, shut down your opponent's hand traps, anything they might try, Infinity will shut them down. Nova is going to be essential because you go into Nova first, then you rank Infinity up on top of Nova, but not without using Nova's effect, especially something from Graveyard. We've got 1 copy of Seeger, because that's really all you need, if you ask me. He's a really good card, you'll want to have him on the field to boost up your Infinity. And a Predator Plant, just OTK enabler right there. You send Overload from your deck, bingo, I mean you got a 3 attack monster on the field. We've got Anima in here because he works really well with Jizukiro. You put Jizukiro into one of the places, you summon Anima off Hurts or something, and bingo, there you go. Salamangreat, Almirage, really just a combo starter. I mean you're just going to get rid of your Cyber Dragon to get him on the field, so it's just a great way of getting that Cyber Dragon in the graveyard for Repair Plant. 2 Ash, 2 Galaxy Soldiers, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre, and 3 copies of Nibiru. Your side deck is basically just hand traps, or counter to hand traps, which being called by the grave. 2 back row removal for Cosmic Cyclone, and 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. Another good floodgate that you're going to want to swap in. Maybe if DNA Surgery isn't working for you, you swap in Anti-Spell Fragrance. It's a done game. It's game over. You activate this card or Imperial Order. That's it. Your opponent can't do Steam All, because you'll have your Infinity on the board for that one extra negate, and maybe another interruption like Cybernetic Overflow. But either way, this deck just builds great boards, and you've got so much playability because of all the trap cards in here that you will be guaranteed a third turn basically. So I ran this deck through competitive, tried my best to play games, wasn't working, so you had to go in and host your games. It's the only way you'll find a game in Link Evolution anymore. Why are you still playing Link Evolution? Go play EDO or something. But if you're still here, yeah, you just gotta go in, create your own game, and eventually people will come and play you. I played 5 games with this deck, and I had really good results. The only thing this deck suffered from was lack of monsters, which is why a lot of people don't play Machine Dupe when they're running this build, because you only have 14 monsters, only like 9 of them are targets for Machine Dupe, you've only got 2 Machine Dupes. Do the maths, it's not a combo that works every time, but when it does, you're almost guaranteed game, because you've got your interruptions, you got your solemn strikes, you got your solemn judgments, and just other things that just really put a downer on your opponent. Even DNA surgery itself can act as a very good floodgate, because if they require their monsters to be spellcasters, if they require them to be dragons, it means they can't go into their link plays, they can't go into their XC plays, sometimes even it cuts them out of synchros because they don't have the required type on the field. It is still a type of floodgate, but it works really well for you because it allows you to contact fuse so much easier. But your main move is going to be, and I got this guy straight off the bat with it, is of course Predaplant, send off your Overload Fusion, and just go straight in there for the Rampage. Now if you wanted to, you could even use Rampage's effect to destroy one of your own set cards, destroying Overflow without a spell or trap card to your hand, or you could destroy one of your floodgates, and allows you to start using magic cards again. So the options are there. You send the 2 monsters, you send Hertz, you send Nashester, and then you've got a free card out of it. So yeah, you're going to want to go into Rampage as quickly and as often as you can. Unfortunately I was not able to get the OTK fully here. Left this guy on 1200 health. Could have came back to bite me. That's the chance I was taking. But you know what? I stuck with it. I negated his monster's effect. He basically had nothing to do. He had to end his turn, and this game was only going one way after that. Now I could have played around with him. I could have taken it easy, but I thought no, you go for the jugular every time. I was playing to win with this deck, and that's the only way you should play Cyber Dragons. No mercy. Contact fuse as easily and as often as you can, because it's just the best form of removal. I cannot stress that. His monster had destruction protection. Oh, you got destruction? That's cute. That's nice. It didn't help you, because that was game over. Now I think having 2 copies of Machine Dupe is better than 3. Now yes, I did have 3 at first, but it can become a little bit bricky, because it's only something you're ever going to do once. So even if you open it up first off, use it, the next 2 copies then become bricks, because you're not going to use them. You won't have the monsters in your deck to use them. So yes, opening 2 copies can be very bad, and hell, even worse, if you open the 3 copies, you got 2 dead cards in your hand. So you're only going to want to run 2. I think that's what works best, especially because you're limited on the monster front. But when you do pull off that Machine Dupe move, it's brilliant. It's just such a setup. You've got your Infinity on the field. Yeah, okay, I got Kaiju. Nobody could have seen that coming. But he then gave me a 2/4 beat stick that I could use whatever way I wanted. And you know, I chose to interrupt his play, leave me with the monster, and then I can go in for the attack next turn. So yeah, it's a bit of a drawback with the old Kaijus. You need to have a way of removing it after you give it to them. Otherwise you are giving them a good, decent monster to which they will use to attack you and mess your shit up. Now, of course, I didn't do that with this card. I think I ended up linking it away for Predaplant, but it's still, he gave me an extra body on the field that I could use from my link plays. Kaijus, great cards, gotta have a way to get rid of them. That's the only thing I'll say about that. But yeah, just this OTK enabler is just fantastic. Yet again, I didn't get the full OTK here, but I did get enough off his life points to really make him go, okay, right, I'm on the back foot here. What the hell am I going to do? So I chuck away, boom, 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 get the 3 attacks in. Get attack with Predator Plant, of course, it's 500, might not take it off as well. But I left them on 1-2, not many options. I could have Solemn wished him there, or not wished, Solemn Judgment. But I was just trying to weigh it up of what's worth half my life points. Is it worth it? Turns out it wasn't. I went with the strike instead. And yeah, next turn, this guy just didn't stand a chance. Bring back Nova, go into Infinity, equip his monster, and the guy quits out. That's it. Dusted. Now, as I went into game 3, I was still sort of messing around with this deck. Like, I still hadn't completed it yet. So it was still in the trial run phase. And I think I still only had about maybe 10 or 11 monsters in it at this point. So this is when I really realized, okay, it's got potential. This deck is really good, but it does suffer from the lack of monsters conundrum, which was a big problem because I opened up with Machine Dupe. All I needed was that one monster that acts as Cyber Dragon, and boom, I would have kicked off. This deck would have torn through this guy, because there he is sitting there with equip cards. And what is this, like, 2010, 2005 or something? What are you running equip cards for? But he got the win on me either way. I took it like a champ, and he got my life points to 0. So fair play to him. But I did see the error of my ways. I left straight away. I put in an extra copy of Hertz. I threw in that extra copy of Natchester, and that's when I realized, yeah, okay, those extra copies might help. Took out a copy of Machine Dupe, because 3 is just too many, and I started to get back on really good form with this deck again. So of course you're going to want to special summon Natchester, discard a monster, a light monster for that, before watch out for that one. But yeah, I just stuck a few cards down, waited to see what happened. I could have gone into a rampage play here, off a couple of cards from my deck, but I thought, no, I'm going to make him think that I had to stop mid-combo or something. Maybe give this guy a false sense of security. Let him do his moves for now. Only ever stop your opponent on the one main thing you think could really shut their deck down. And it turns out this was it. Once I saw him strike this one move, this guy was like, oh hell no, he's running Cyber Traps, I'm out. So that was a good win, I like that. But this was the final game then. This was game 5. I've been 3-1 up to this point. Felt I didn't deserve to lose that one game, but I didn't get the monsters I needed. So hey, that's just the luck of the draw. But I was impressed to see I was against a guy who was running Dark Magician decks, a guy after my own heart, and he actually did a pretty good job of a Dark Magician deck. He's rifling through his deck, he's getting his combo pieces out, he's thinning out the deck, he's using his spell books to further thin out the deck. It's like, okay, let's see where he's going with this. Right, he's using Soul Servant, stacks his deck. Okay, now he plays the card he stacked with. He has another Soul Servant, so he gets to stack the deck again. And this time he goes for Secrets of Dark Magic, which means he's only going for one thing. That's the Dark Magicians. Bring it on, sucker. And there he is, yeah. Now if he had gone into Dragoon, I could have been in some trouble, so thankfully Dragoon's not in this game. Oh yeah, I would have been in a spot of bother. So first things first, I set my trap card hoping that his face down was Eternal Soul, and he would, use it up sooner rather than later. But he didn't activate his card. So okay, fair enough. Let's keep playing this thing. Go straight into a Contact Fuse after summoning Core and Veer. I've got the extra monster, so why not? And now, you've got carte blanche. You add the card to your hand, activate Overload Fusion. Summon your Rampage. Rampage's effect will trigger on summon, destroy his back row, and yes, it turns out he did have Eternal Soul, but he really should have activated it sooner if he wanted to get the effect of Dark Magical Circle, for the main reason that Dark Magical Circle is a continuous card that needs to stay on the field to activate its effect. So hard luck there, I did get the win though. So look, 4-1, only played 5 games of this competitively, really impressed with it. That's the deck right there. Check it out, give it a shot. I've even started making this in real life, it's so much fun. But yeah, Cyber Dragon Traps is really good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.